so used to having like other people do your microphones for you. Oh, I'm sorry. We're back. Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland on the Majority Report.
Can you lower your voice a little?
Will you please like help him? God.
No, I mean in general, even if not just.
Can I do an introduction?
Well, you did before. I heard it. It was,
We're back on the Majority Report. Joining us now in studio is John Benjamin, who goes by the moniker the Jazz Daredevil. John, welcome back to the program.
I guess thank you for having me.
You have been on in the past for this project that you're doing, known as the Jazz Daredevil.
Have I been on before to promote the Jazz Daredevil character? Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we can. No, we can hear you.
You're looking around like a crazy person, like you're like something's wrong. So I'm picking up bad vibes.
I agree.
Yeah, you were like.
I was just looking for. I just noticed you brought your instrument in. You haven't quite set it up yet.
Yeah, I mean, just
no, but I will when I play. I brought my keyboard.
So, John, you have. This is your. You have been doing this. You started a musical career. People may know you from your work as the voice of the Majority Report.
That's right. I think probably that was one of my first gigs.
Yep. Other people may know you from other smaller projects known as Bob's Burgers.
Smaller?
Archer. I'm just talking in terms of like cultural impact. You were also on the Katz, the Dr. Katz show.
Yeah. Why are you being so dismissive of my career?
No, I'm not being dismissive. This is, you've had a tremendous amount of luck, and I think that is, I think people are impressed by that.
I think that's arguably true. I think,
Oh, home movies, someone else mentioned.
Home movies, thank you. Yeah, we're also very lucky.
No,
it's just this it's like this perpetual luck.
I would say, more luck than Sam.
Some people have to rely on luck, others don't. I mean, it's all right. I'm just saying, you've been very, very lucky in your career. That's a compliment.
Yes, and consistently lucky, I guess. And you were in show business for a bit, and I guess you were unlucky.
Oh, no, I feel very, like I was very fortunate. Most of the stuff I had was not so much based on luck, but that's irrelevant.
Well, you were lucky during the time before you were ousted from show business.
Right.
And that was...
People don't get ousted from show business. That's
well,
absurd.
I'm being kind.
Oh.
It's like a euphemism for being nobody cares anymore about your work in that.
I haven't been doing it for years. I don't, I'm not, it doesn't matter.
Would you consider getting back into it? Because that would be
too busy doing this program every day.
Well, also arguably it would be problematic if you tried, because it might not work out like before.
Well, let's turn to your work as the Jazz Daredevil.
Speaking of things that don't quite work out.
Yeah,
Not all of my projects work out.
I listen. I'm quite familiar with your highball whiskey drink.
That was a big swing and a miss. Yeah.
Well, it's still available, though, right?
Yeah.
We may actually serve some of those at the.
That would be nice.
At the live show at the Bell House for. I think we're working on that
for the election show.
Yeah, because apparently there's a huge warehouse full of discounted cans.
You can get them in bulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't make any promises, but they might have gone bad.
All right. Well, that's all right. I mean, they were
because they were canned. I don't know, 7 years ago, and I would say give it a shot. I don't mind. I don't want to get anybody sick.
It's going to be a mass botulism event at the.
No, but whiskey is a natural,
antibiotic.
Not antibiotic, but you right. If you drink it, it will help you not get sick from whatever is wrong with what the drink is.
Yes, it works in the same way that bleach does. when you're dealing with
Right.
You have
when you're dealing with COVID.
I just want to remind people that you have put out you've now put out, this is your third album, is that right?
Third album. The first one was in 2015.
And it was entitled?
Shit. Well, I should have.
Well, I should have. And then in parentheses.
Then an ellipsis. Learned how to play the piano.
And it is, in fact, an album of music where you are playing with some very accomplished jazz musicians.
Session musicians, yep.
And you are playing along with them, but don't know how to play the piano.
I don't know how to play the piano. They know how to play their instruments, and we played together as an ensemble. And
I assume you've never seen those people since then.
No, they worked on their most recent album. They did. They did.
All right.
They don't necessarily appreciate my style, but they enjoy the work.
The money.
Well, that's cynical. They enjoy playing jazz, and they're playing jazz, and I'm trying to play jazz, so we're working together.
And you pay them.
I pay them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you pay your
you pay us.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily enjoy being here.
That's possible.
You'll never know. That's what the money's
it's
for.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, that's how everything works. Yeah. Yeah.
The second album, what was that called?
That was called, you didn't say you were going to ask like these guys. Oh, no.
Are you used to softball interviews?
Yeah. I'm used to no interviews.
Right.
The soundtrack collection, it was called.
Right. And
so it was covers of famous soundtrack tracks from movies such as Halloween, piano-oriented soundtracks.
And you had you flew to Hungary, is that correct?
Wait, what? What's that?
Didn't you fly somewhere to
on the last album
with an orchestra?
On the last album, we recorded with a full 75-piece orchestra in Budapest to play the prelude to 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh, so it was just one of those songs.
Well, it's the most famous song from that movie. And I played the synthesizer with the orchestra, and they were not pleased with my performance.
The orchestra?
Yeah, they didn't know I couldn't play. So there was an American coming in who they didn't know, and I came in, and they don't have a lot of time. Right, because they're doing
They're professionals.
They're professionals, so they're doing other jobs that day. I got like a half hour. Mm-hmm. Now for them, they know the prelude very well, so it's easy for them to play it. They didn't know that, but they all had headphones. So when I came in halfway through, they looked shocked.
Isn't there some video of that? Can we find that video? I think.
Yeah. They didn't stop playing though, which is remarkable. How professional they were.
Did they just try to play over your contribution?
Despite the insane dissonance, they must have, that must have
felt
burned.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's musicians have here. This is the clip, I guess. Let's just play this.
Yes, and I was wearing a cosmonaut outfit. They didn't know that I was going to do that either.
Well, that was because
we were shooting
an homage to
Space
Odyssey, which of course they were not cosmonauts. They were astronauts.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly connected to that. It was more random. My art is about random choices.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the conductor. He was good. They were all good.
Yeah.
I really fucked it up.
I actually thought that your playing was improved from your first album on that one.
I think I'm getting better. I'm not taking any lessons. I want to keep it that way because I think
That's the jazz part.
that's the jazz part. That's
Right.
in line with that's the ethos.
Spontaneous.
Right. It's
Yes.
also
It's all-
means that you don't have to actually put any effort into it. You can just show up and touch the piano.
No, I had to put a ton of effort into going to Budapest. I had to fly to Budapest and set up that whole thing. That was a lot of work.
You did all that work. You didn't have like a producer do it.
I helped. There's many people who turned down that producer job, but yeah.
So you had to find the producer.
I do a lot of it's DIY.
DIY in the sense that you find someone else and they DIY it.
I helped. I don't mean to interrupt. I did help that process. I hired everybody.
Right. You paid them.
No.
Right. Okay. Well, fair enough. I mean, but you didn't actually cut the checks yourself, right? I mean, you have someone else do that too.
No, I don't have anybody cutting checks for me. I'm not a corporation.
Seriously?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you mean did I write out the checks?
Yeah.
No. I did have someone do that. I just remembered.
What did you think I was saying?
I just was, I guess, yeah. I lost track, but yes.
Yeah, you did.
But it was one person. That's it.
That you don't think that person has like an assistant?
I could check.
Yeah.
I would have to text.
All right. Well, so now you have your third album that is being put out by Sub Pop, the same entity that put out your first two albums.
Correct. Very
Isn't that
generous.
the Nirvana label?
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're very prestigious,
Yeah,
Benjamin.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed to be in the presence of like a real artist and celebrity.
I don't know anyone in Nirvana, even though we are technically on the same label. Although I don't think they're on Sub Pop anymore.
Okay.
The band is also not together anymore.
That's true. I don't know any of the members of the band. I've never met anybody from Nirvana. I saw them live in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that with you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
Jeez.
so your third album is been released. You enjoyed, I guess, doing soundtracks so much that you did one.
Well, this one is very different conceptually than the last one.
This is a soundtrack to an album.
This is a soundtrack to a movie.
To a movie, I should say. And here is the images.
Is that an Evil Knievel outfit?
That's the outfit that's my original outfit, and then I switched to the cosmonaut, and I switched back.
This is the jazz
that.
Daredevil
Yes.
outfit.
No.
You can see this outfit, I guess, is featured in your ads for your alcohol. Now this is based on this is a soundtrack from a film, the original motion picture soundtrack of the, and then you put in parentheses, I don't know if you can see that, folks, unproduced film.
Yeah,
So there's a soundtrack. You did the soundtrack first, and then you did the film?
we didn't do the film yet.
And do you have intentions to do the film?
I don't know. No one responded to the script.
So there is, in fact, a script.
There is, written by myself, Leo Allen, and Stephanie Lysite. We wrote it during the pandemic. It's a Jazz Daredevil movie featuring the Jazz Daredevil character. And we sent it around, and we got no response back. So in lieu of not making the movie, we made the soundtrack first. And then I hope that the movie will get produced at some point.
At some point. So
Well,
how is it a soundtrack if there is no movie?
There's some dialogue in there from the script that will give you a guide to what some of what the movie's about, the narrative structure, but not all of it in the event that the movie gets made, so we don't spoil it. And it's a murder mystery. So you have to listen to the whole album. Basically, it's best to listen to it all the way through because you'll get a sense of the movie.
So just to be clear, where did you get this idea to do a soundtrack for a movie that did not exist?
Well, the initial idea was that the jazz daredevil who can't play piano would score a movie. And that would be really annoying.
But would anyone hire someone who doesn't know how to do music to do music for their movie?
No, but that's why we wrote our own movie, so that I could score it.
And we figured at one point we don't have to produce the movie.
No, nobody would produce the movie, and I couldn't afford to make a movie on my own. It's extremely expensive, but it's less expensive to make an album.
Are you familiar with the movie Tommy by The Who?
Yes.
Were you aware that that film, which was a 1975 film, was based on a soundtrack that was written in 1969?
I was not aware of that. Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
So this idea has already been done.
Yeah. And actually quite well by actual musicians.
I mean,
one of the most famous bands, at least in the rock genre.
That's a horrible thing to do to me right now. Like,
Well,
why would you?
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Well, no, it's proof of concept. It's proof of concept. He's
Well,
putting it
that's
out
true.
there.
Then it's the same thing.
6 years later, they make the movie.
Yeah.
6 years
Okay.
later, Jazz
All right,
Daredevil.
let me ask you another question about that I've noticed from.
So actually, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's and been done by The Who. I would arguably one of the best bands of all time.
What is the theory behind using someone else's body for the model on this cover?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm looking at this cover of the Jazz Daredevil, and it looks like your face, but it sort of seems like someone who is like like tall, lean.
I don't see tall in that.
Well, he's taller than everyone else in the.
He's in the foreground.
Well, it's pretty. That's got a lot of foreground in there too. I mean, it just seems. I'm just curious, who was the model for this image?
I assume it was me. It does look like my body, the way it is. Yeah.
Well, I feel like it looks like your body, maybe from the knees down, sort of.
I mean, if I put on the outfit, that looks exactly like what I look like. I would say.
Okay.
I think that's yeah.
Just curious about that. Now, on the back,
Are you saying that you think that I'm like heavier set or not in shape?
it's not so much.
I might be in a slightly idealized version of my body.
It is, I would say, pretty idealized.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's the movie.
But that happens
this
a lot.
Is the movie version of the Jazz Daredevil.
Yeah,
right?
and if I did
But the film version is always sort of slightly upgraded.
And if I did the movie, I
or
would.
significantly upgraded.
If I did the movie, I think I probably would lose, I don't know, 30 to 40 pounds for the role.
Okay.
Like a Christian Bale.
Right.
What is this? The loser edition.
That's a Sub Pop. I don't know what that is. That's a Sub Pop promotion. That's how they put out, I think.
Limited edition first pressing. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's you have to take that up with Sub Pop.
What is Lovers Must Learn?
That's a quote. It's not in the movie, but it's evocative of what the movie is about.
So it's a soundtrack of a movie that doesn't exist that is promoted by a catchphrase that does not exist in the movie that doesn't exist.
No.
I'm just trying to figure out what we're dealing with.
This is like very uncomfortable for me getting there, and I'm gonna get angry soon. But I don't understand what you don't understand. The movie was written.
Right. I got that part. I just said
movie.
This is a soundtrack for a movie that has not been produced. It's just for a script.
Yes.
And this is a
but I don't know why you
marketing tag.
Why are you grilling me on things that are just part of what is
everything else is ephemeral? I mean, there's no movie. This is the only tangible thing that we have here. And I'm asking you about the tag that's right here. And I just think it's interesting for the audience to understand that this is built on, something that doesn't exist. And this is a complete fabrication of something that doesn't exist. I find that interesting.
Everything then in the movies is a fabrication. It's a fabricated. The whole thing is a fabrication. What are you talking about?
Here is the picture of a script page, which means that it must exist.
No, it does. That's the first page of the script.
Let me ask you this, John.
Okay, wait. Let me interrupt you for a second. In movies that you see, you get angry when let's say they say the title of a movie. Like, let's say you're watching television with your son, right? Right after the movie, right? He walks at night.
Yeah.
Or something like that, right? Do you get furious about that?
Like at the end of The Dark Knight, when they say, he's the Dark Knight. Right? They finally say it at the end of the movie.
Not in the movie.
No,
like in the
trailer.
Emma's getting confused with what you're trying to say.
In a trailer.
I'm trying to help.
What you're trying to justify, it doesn't happen with other things.
In a trailer, when there's a tagline to the movie, do you get as upset as you did over Lovers Must Learn?
Well, if there's a trailer in which it says, lovers must learn, I would get it. But this is...
It's an artistic representation of the movie as a whole.
Why is it in quotes? Doesn't quotes denote that it's actually, I'm quoting something?
Yes, somebody would eventually say it, let's say.
Okay. So this is a hypothetical quote based upon something that could be said in the future. I mean, in that instance, everything could be put in quotes.
It seems like you don't understand
movies. Let me just
movies.
ask you this, though, John. I'm curious.
Which is weird, because
is this album, this project, really just a metaphor in some sense? Like you're creating a derivative work based on nothing. And I wonder if that's not a metaphor for, your life or your sense of self. Okay, so your entire affectation, everything you project,
are you reading
that
this?
you have achieved or not.
This?
I have questions. I do this professionally.
You wrote this out?
So I'm asking if this project, which, if it isn't a metaphor for a life or a personhood wherein you've achieved something, it's simply like a Potemkin village on some level, right? Which hides a core of hollowness or nothingness that really provides no value to anyone outside of maybe yourself, but even then, maybe only for the projection.
Yeah. I mean, I could just as easily say, you're projecting this onto me. Yeah. And I hope
let's have you play a song from
with that, I hope you don't feel that way, because that would be awful to have to live a life like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess though it becomes a muse a little bit, right? I mean, for a project. All right, so let's
I'm
have
moving
you
my computer.
Play.
That was a rough one.
Yeah. Well, we don't. This is not Fox News. We don't serve it up. We serve it up warm here.
Yeah.
All right, and now what song are you going to be playing?
I should have gone on the 5. That would have been easy.
There's still time.
What?
I should have reached out to the 5. Oh.
What? Tell us what song you'll be playing here.
Okay, so this is a song called. It's either "Walk Through the Woods" or "Walk in the Woods." Through the Woods. Walk through the woods. So this is a piece of scoring in the movie where I'm actually walking through the woods. If if you get a chance, the jazz daredevil in the movie is walking through the woods.
Well, in the script.
And this is in the script. And this is a piece of scoring that goes with that.
What now, juncture in the movie is this? Like
this is like midway through the movie, and it's a turning point scene. Because I do meet somebody in the woods, a woman who approaches me.
In the woods.
Yeah, and you can all hear this.
She like a human or like some type of like elf or something like that? Or?
No, it's a human. It's not a. This is not. There's no fantasy elements in this movie.
How deep into the woods are you that you're walking into a woman?
Well, I'd have to share with you the whole story.
That's not necessary.
But I'm happy to.
I think like we want to really hear the music.
The jazz daredevil is propositioned by a woman.
Of course.
To come to her lake house mansion, right? And produce her first album.
Oh, I see.
So a lot of the songs on the album are her songs because I'm producing them, which I don't play on. They're actually another person's singing. So there's some songs like that. And then the rest is me scoring scenes from the movie. So I am at this lake house compound and I'm walking through the woods. And I meet this other woman, not the woman who propositioned me.
Okay, I don't follow that.
What?
You're not even playing. This thing's not even plugged in. There's no plug-in. Look at this. It's not plugged into anything. It's not making any music.
I'm in.
What did you do?
I know. It does. What? Okay. All right. You caught me.
I don't understand. Like, what? Why did you do that?
Because I can't play.
Well, I understand. It didn't sound like you could play, but why didn't you?
But I can't play. I couldn't play before, and I can't reproduce me not playing. Right? So I have to use the backtrack.
You sync
because I can't redo the song. Do you understand? That's the whole point. I don't mean to yell. I'm sorry, everybody, but you shouldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, you said you were going to play, and I'm not going to have the audience think that you're going to...
Well, that's fine, but like I said, if I had to play the song over again, I would have to learn how to not play the way I'd not played the first time. And I can't hit those notes because I can't play.
So you're doing a live show in New York, is that right?
I mean, this is like totally embarrassing to be exposed on YouTube.
Well, it also was on a podcast on iTunes and Twitch.
But it's good, right?
Poggers.
Yeah, you know.
No, I mean, effectively, like, if you listen to that over a scene of a man walking through the woods and encountering a woman...
You're the one encountering the woman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My understanding is you have a live show in New York City.
We do, where I actually will be playing. I'll be plugged in that time. I'm going to learn how to do the songs. I have 2.5, 3 weeks to learn that, and I'm going to do it.
When is the live show?
November 7th at White Eagle Hall in Jersey City, and I will be playing the full album.
The full album.
The full album. They'll be playing the full album.
And you're learning that in 2 to 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Will you be performing the dialogue sections?
We will be playing the dialogue sections in between, yeah. from the sound from the album. We won't be doing that live.
So this is at what place is it? In where?
White Eagle Hall in Jersey City.
White Eagle Hall in Jersey City. We will put a link to that
Yeah.
at in our YouTube and podcast description. White Eagle Hall.
If you liked what you heard here, then you're going to hear that live.
But you'll actually be playing.
But I will play. I don't think I'll be able to learn exactly how to play that song, but I think that's fine. In a live performance, everything's different.
Right.
No jazz performance is the same.
Yep.
Like Miles Davis didn't play, Kind of Blue the same way every time
Right.
he hit the stage. He played it differently. That's
But the key word
Probably-
being that he played.
Consistently well.
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, I will play consistently not well.
Well, there you have it, folks.
That's my promise. That's
All right. We will put a link to those tickets there. And where can people buy the album?
I would go to subpop.com or just Google Jazz Daredevil soundtrack, and there'll be links there on the internet. And why are you looking at me like that?
I just thought it was interesting that you don't know where to.
Well, you can get it for sure on Sub Pop, and I think it's probably pretty easy just to Google Jazz Daredevil, and the album will come up.
Great.
And then you would click on that. The thing, what do you call it?
The link.
Link.
Yep. All right, folks. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll do a Freebie Friday today. But we're going to take a quick break and help John out with his. Is that even like an actual instrument, or?
That's a real Casio MT100 that I was using.
Well, you weren't actually using.
Well, I was.
It was just.
In
I
a
was
sense.
utilizing it.
Yeah.
I mean, you were pressing things, but not
Well, if you didn't expose
associated with the sound that
it,
was
if you
coming.
didn't expose it and walk over here and ruin it, it would have been great.
Maybe.
But I guess that's who you are, the ruiner.
Well, a lot of people would say that's about integrity for the show. So.
I mean, I just don't think you should have done that. I think it's out of character.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.